of your government understand where the gold for reserve policy started from. They understand where this whole backing the city with commodities, our gold commodities, started from. In fact, the Bank of Ghana themselves made a post earlier this year before succumbing to pressure from obviously the government to take down the post as to the value that these gold-backed commodities had brought to our economy and to our country. So if you can sit here and want to single out the CEO of Gold Board, Sami Gyamfi, for doing something good, why can we not give the same credit to the person who actually put all of this in place? He was a member of the government, he was a member of the MPP government, but one of the things he did personally, he came out to launch this gold for reserve policy. When there were problems with Gold Board earlier this year, who were the NDC mentioning? I'm going to leave that as a rhetorical question. So if at that point, when it was going wrong, you saw the need to make flyers, to push your propaganda machinery out at him. If now we can see that this is something that he did that was good and is bearing fruit, there's nothing wrong. You've come and you've expanded it and something like that into Gold Board. Nobody is taking that away from you, but you cannot remove the brain behind that. No, history is not even going to allow you to do that.
That's very good. I think the question you asked me is the difference. I mean, I have maintained that the rationale for which this whole using of commodity to, safeguard our currency and then to protect the economy with more reserves under the MPP administration, it did not give us the results that we are getting today under the new arrangement with Gold Board in the middle of this whole activities. So for me, that is the difference. I mean, if you look at the price of fuel today as it was then when this whole initiative was put in place. It has come down drastically. It means that this arrangement is giving us results. If you look at our international reserves, as at the time we were putting this initiative under the MPP administration and what it is today, we've made progress. And for that matter, that arrangement and with Gold Board in the center of all is also giving us results. Look at the strength of our currency, where we have seen stabilization for a very long time, record time to some extent. Business people applauding government, and because it is helping them to plan, to do a long-term. Before now, it was very difficult for any business to consider even doing a long-term plan because of the how volatile the exchange rate regime is. And so if we are seeing differences and it is giving us results, both in our books, both in our pocket, both in the fiscal management of the economy, then we have no reason to begin to do some comparison and to some extent, excuse me to say, waste our time. What we want is results. That is why I have a great deal of interest in the Jay-Z's of today. What they want is results. Are you giving me results? Let's move on. I mean, and that is how I see this whole thing. Since we are getting the results, where let's tighten it.
Okay. So it matters the losses, but we need to find a way to reduce the losses.
Certainly, who wants losses?
What must we do?
Well, I mean, I am not a technocrat in that area.
Okay.
But I want to believe that when we understand the challenges, at least by what the government, the IMF have indicated, we must look at not only the gold, but in all in most of the raw material that we have and God has blessed us with, we need to be adding value in order to get the full benefit when we get to the international market. That is one step I think we should do immediately and ensure that we safeguard our economy.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much for that.
I actually found the speech that was read when the Gold for Reserve policy was launched. Would you like me to read it?
That's
okay.
I'm not
just saying that.
I'm not talking about the launch. No,
that was just an aside.
If you give me a second, you would understand.
That was just an aside.
Interminable NDC MPP debate rages on gold for oil and gold for reserves. What is baffling is the repetition of the so-called mistake perpetrated by the Bank of Ghana. You know, the World Bank, IMF warned the Bank of Ghana to play a hands-off role in the gold for oil reserves, gold for oil program. Here again, Bank of Ghana is being warned. Are we to understand that the current Bank of Ghana failed to learn from the mistake perpetrated by the NDC regime? It's something we need to we need to hear from the Bank of Ghana.
Because the quantum of the losses
it's very critical. Especially, that is why I'm applauding Sabi Jefe. I mean, he has come out with his side of the story. It is very important that the Bank of Ghana, the Bank of Ghana quickly also come in, because this is a very sensitive matter. It is almost like what is holding the spine of the economy today. So if there are issues about it, everybody needs to be worried. Business people have to be worried. I mean, are we going to see a crash somewhere along the line? That is speculations. Goes a long way to affect even planning by government. And for that matter, I want to believe that the Bank of Ghana must also quickly come out, show its stand where there is the need. I mean, His Excellency John Mohammed showed that commitment from day one. He said, oh, let's come sit together, let's plan and find how we'll run this economy to the benefit of all. And people have shown support. So if there's such communication and indeed admission of or confirmation of the IMF claim, I want to believe that it will open the way for others to come also on board and bring a lot of ideas so that we leverage the existing system and ensure that it grows to continue protecting the economy. That's my view.
I would think.
So as they say, because they were not refining, and you need to sell it to someone who will refine and sell on the market, of course.
And not just that. Even the rates, the forex rates that is used by Gold Board is different from what is used by Bank of Ghana. So you buy at a different FX rate from the miner, and then you are giving it to Bank of Ghana at a different FX rate. So in just doing that transaction, you make a loss.
Okay.
And what has happened in the beginning, when Gold Board started its operations, actually they were paying less. They were paying about 8,000 cedis or something. The miners were not happy. Smuggling was going up. And so I think a decision was made to increase it a little so that they can be competitive. Yeah. These are some of the problems that you face. But there's been such a heavy focus on actually not building reserves. So if you look at today, the reserves MPP left NDC, they have not added up to 5 tons to it. You can fact check. All they've been doing is been selling that gold to show up our forex, which is understandable because Ghanaians wanted that stability. But it is not sustainable, as a lot of economists have said. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm an expert in that field, but from the little I understand, and I saw a video of one of these experts saying that this was going to happen with Gold Board. I'll send you the video. It was on another platform. He said it's about 2 or 3 months ago. And so when I was coming here this morning, I had to send him a message that now you're a prophet, because he said that Gold Board is also going to incur even more losses because of the quantum, just the quantum of commodities they are dealing with as compared to what they inherited. So we can sit down and have a holistic conversation where people are ready to give credit where credit is due, and then we can do this for Mother Ghana. But if you cannot come and take something you inherited and now pretend as if it was gift. You inherited the gold. You inherited the gold for reserve policy. Even Sami Jemfi's statement. Even in Sami Jemfi's statement, he admitted it. I can read it to you right now.
An economy that could not stand on its own.
That is not true.
From Babia as the head of economic management, you inherited exchange rates that was so fragile. Nobody could even plan for a month.
I'm going to read Sami Jemfi's
and you cannot run away from this.
Right
this
now, where he says we are operating an expanded gold for reserve policy. You cannot run away from that. The CEO of that place is saying that he's running an expanded gold for reserve policy, and you want to sit here and change history? No. You inherited something that is working for you. You've built upon it. There's nothing wrong with it, but you cannot change history.
Gold for oil was not working for anybody.
We are not. You do not even understand what we are talking about.
You admit it.
Gold for oil is different from gold for reserve. I'm not answering your questions.
What was the reason for gold for oil?
Is very
Why wouldn't you answer my question?
Why
wouldn't you answer my question?
Because you don't. obviously don't really understand what you're... Gold for oil, gold for reserve.
If I don't understand, wait a minute.
Things.
If I don't understand,
two different things.
and you are courteous enough to have the opportunity to educate me and more others who don't understand, you sit here and boldly tell me and those who don't understand that you will not answer our questions. Is that what you are going to do?
You're the one who is...
Okay, she said...
Is that what you are going to do?
I'm asking you the question.
Alhaji, she says, ask your question again. Just ask your question.
I'm not going to waste my time on that.
Ask you are the host.
No, you're
I'm not going to waste my time.
Turn around
Arrogant. Continue getting my attention. You are the host. Let me ask you the question. What was the gold for oil all about? Let me ask you. What was it about?
We understand the purpose was to bridge. You know, that time the forex was, the city was taking a beating from the dollar.
Did they achieve that?
I can read the Bank of Ghana.
I mean, when it did, at least there was some. The oil prices came down.
Instead of the premium being between $160 to $170, it is 50 to 80.
The gold board inclusion in this gold for reserve has given us some results, and they are tangible.
No,
we can all feel it.
What we are saying is that this gold for reserve existed.
You had or you were doing did not give us the desired result.
The good for oil,
we are getting the desired.
Some prices came down, according to
the gold for oil. It's even different from gold for reserve.
Did the price come down to the extent that saw business people congratulate government for that effort?
You know, fuel went to 20. Is it 20? 22?
And I can take
is it 22 or 23
calling me arrogant
per
this
liter?
Morning, actually.
It went to 22 or 23 cedis per liter, I think, and then it came down to about 17 or 16.
I am sending you the BOG's thing themselves, which I've told you. And what I'm saying, gold for oil and even gold for reserve are different. So when we are talking about gold for reserve and you are asking me about gold for oil, I have every right to tell you that you are confusing the two. And you move on to say I'm arrogant on live TV on Christmas morning. Alhaji, come on.
Well, so the point is, yes, we have seen what you have talked about. I mean, the whole initiative was put together to achieve certain results. Just as the current initiative where we use gold for reserve is also targeted at achieving a certain result. If you compare both results, we have done more successfully under the current running program. That is where my point is.
Okay.
And everybody who is looking for results will look for where the results are higher so that it will help it achieve the objective for which it has set for itself. That is my point. And if we are getting these results, that is why I continue to insist that, look, this thing has come to stay. Let us see what, and indeed, I would also use this opportunity, the transparency. I mean, I've seen the gold board put almost everything on its website. If you look, even their unaudited account is currently on their website, and you can do a holistic analysis of what they are doing. They should increase in that transparency. They are people who would also use such propaganda machinery to sort of create an impression.
Oh, but it's
but it's a fact. I mean, we can't run away from that. You are in competition in the world. There are others also looking for what you are looking for. So that if they can churn out information that will sort to slow the progress you are making, they will do it to the advantage. So that is why I keep saying holistically, we need to look at it holistically.